and a candy man. Like a freight train rolling, bringing truth bombs down the line. Promoting the Southland 1 week at a time. Promoting the Southland 1 week at a time. SCV chat starts now.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Or Monday evening. Good Lord. You can tell I've had the day off from work and my time's all messed up. But hey, you know what? It's Monday. And the views and opinions expressed on this broadcast are not necessarily those of the SCV, its GEC, nor any division, brigade, camps, or other subsidiaries, strictly those of us expressing them. Like for me, it's morning. My views, my opinions. Okay. Well, Moose isn't going to say anything about that. So, yeah. Good evening, Jason Lloyd and Paul Gramling Jr. We saw him this weekend. David Pope, we got your email. We haven't had a chance to check it out. We've been a little bit preoccupied with some stuff. Kyle Thompson, Kentucky Division Commander, on time for 3 weeks in a row. Good job, Kyle. Hey, Kyle, I am glad you're three episodes.
Two.
Stop that. You're bringing up balloons. Hey, but Kyle, you know what? We do have something special for you. Susie Bond White, my sister, good evening. Todd Owens, hello, cousin Charles, and Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshears, hello. Happy Confederate Memorial Day. At least that's what it is here in the great and sovereign state of Mississippi, which is why I had the day off and got to catch up on some much needed SCV and a little bit of other work on there. Hey Moose, I've got a question for you.
Shoot.
Do you have your SCV chat shirt yet?
It's coming in.
Well, if you didn't, it'd be a lot cooler if you did. So, for those that do not know, we launched a bonfire store a couple of weeks ago. Where you can get shirts, and for the next week, the next 7 days, ending on May the 6th, I do believe, if you go and get your shirt and use the promotional code CHAT, C-H-A-T, it is in all uppercase. For that code, you get 10% off. So if you go to our website, scvchat.com, there will be a link. Moose is showing you everything, all of our shirts. But if you order the chat shirt for the next 7 days, you get 10% off of just the chat shirt. So, support us, if you don't mind. And of course you can join Patreon as well. But yeah, so it's code CHAT for the next 7 days. Shirts come all the way up into a 5X, so some of us don't have an excuse not to get one.
Adam.
Myself. Guess who just lost his life membership status?
Yep. He's on DNR list as we speak.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. But yeah, so if y'all don't mind, we've got a lot of things that we're planning on doing here on the chat end of things. And yes, Jordy, you are right. It is hard to just choose one. We have several great designs, including our Leave Dixie Alone one, which is President Davis's All We Ask Is to Be Let Alone. Just a ton of them. And of course, the Nathan Bedford Forrest one in Tennessee Orange. So yeah, that's the one I expect Adam to get just in time for football season. Florida Man is in the house. Good to see you. So really quickly, this is something we started to do a couple weeks ago. We're going to continue it on all the way through April, and we're going to continue on until we run out of pictures of your ancestors. Of course, you can continue to submit it. We have the post saved on the top of our page. We'll reshare it. But the ancestor of the week or veteran of the week, are you ready, Moose?
I am ready. Wait, which one?
I'll bring up the picture. You bring up the text.
All right, 1 second. Let me get to it.
So he wasn't ready.
No, not at all. All right, you ready?
Ready. This week's veteran of the week is Private Andrew Jackson Hicks of Company G, Duckworth's 7th Tennessee Cavalry, ancestor of Kyle Thompson, Kentucky Division Commander. So, Kyle, we're glad that you have been on time and everything like that. Thank you for sharing a picture of your ancestor and remembering him and honoring his legacy by being a member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans and everything that you are doing up there in Kentucky. So I'll go ahead and throw him in the upper right-hand corner and bring down the big picture, and he'll be up there for the rest of the evening with us. So, oh, sorry. As a member of the Suspenders Brigade, I will talk to you tomorrow, Adam, about that DNR request. So,
sorry about that, Moose.
If I'm going to be put on the list, I might as well make it work.
If you're gonna be a bear, be a grizzly bear.
All right, now I've earned it. It's been great, guys. The chat, greatest 4 years of my life.
Oh wow, that was quick. Y'all went ahead and
It's only been 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, in all serious. In all serious, though, we do love you, Adam. And we do love you, Commander-in-Chief Bo Shears, even though you shop at the tween section in the husky sizes. I did too until I hit a growth spurt.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're just on a roll tonight.
Well, it's your episode. We're kind of laid back with your episode. So anyway, so what great things are happening up at headquarters, Adam?
All kinds of great things happening at headquarters. Just come up there and see us anytime. Get on the internet and see us there if you can't make the drive. But we do this show once a month, so you don't have to come see us if you can't. So
if ever a weekend is to come up and see our wonderful headquarters and National Confederate Museum, it's this weekend because we have something special planned for this weekend. Right, Adam?
Oh, we sure do. It's our annual, I believe this is the 4th annual Confederate Pilgrimage and Memorial Service at the Southern Heritage Center, the National Confederate Museum in historic Elm Springs. And this is a great, we have a great speaker this year, Jeannie Wendowski, the President General of the United Daughters of the Confederacy. She'll be the keynote speaker. So program starts at 11. She'll probably start speaking about 11:15. So make plans to attend that. If you get there early, the ladies of the local UDC chapter, number 2363, the James Madison Sparkman chapter of Columbia, Tennessee, will be selling sausage and biscuits that morning. So go visit those ladies. I think they'll have some hot coffee with them too. And as part of the pilgrimage, we have a time for plants and wreaths and floral tributes. There's the 2 words I'm looking for. Floral tributes. If you would like to give something that will last a little bit longer than a live wreath or a bouquet of flowers, give a live plant. There are several options that we would like to have in our garden. Gardenias, cherry trees, tulip poplars, dogwood trees, viburnums, jasmine, lilac. We'd like to have an oak leaf hydrangea and rhododendron and forsythia. So those are just a few options of plants that you can give us, and we'd love to plant on the property. I know last year the Mississippi boys, I call them the Mississippi boys, but anytime I'm referring to Forrest and Harrison, they're the Mississippi boys, but they went and picked up.
For Mississippians.
they went and picked up a dogwood, and that I'm proud to say that dogwood is flourishing on the grounds of Elm Springs right now. So,
I just gave cash
yeah, yeah. That hey, cash works too.
because I know what a tulip poplar is. I know what a dogwood is. Several of the flowering trees, but that viburnum and some of the other things you mentioned, had no idea. Not a flower person. But speaking of the UDC and speaking of Commander in Chief Jason Boshiers and yourself, y'all had something very special happen a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, we did. We were honored by the local UDC chapter with honorary membership in the UDC. So here we are accepting our certificates from those ladies, and we're at the Confederate Monument, the Confederate section in Rose Hill Cemetery in Columbia, Tennessee. Jason was the Commander-in-Chief Boshiers, was the keynote speaker for their annual memorial service there at the cemetery. And they surprised us with these 2 memberships. So we're now proud honorary members of the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Jason took his sash off just before that picture was taken. So he said,
I was going to ask if you got sashes because it looked like Jason had his hat.
Yeah, he had his big floppy hat, but he took his sash off for the picture.
This is going to be the last episode of chat.
No. It can only go downhill from here.
It's a deal.
No, you haven't played these South Park clips yet.
It's a big hill. We've got a ways to go.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, we used to have Matt on the show. So, anyway, speaking of this past weekend, in Mississippi, we had the Confederate Memorial Service down at Beauvoir, but the Tennessee division, y'all had y'all's division reunion. You sent in a couple of pictures. This one in particular, I wanted to throw up first.
Yeah, we were actually got to host our division reunion in Columbia, Tennessee this year, and our camp, Camp 29, Sam Watkins Camp, was the host. And Friday night there was a reception at the National Confederate Museum. And I didn't get to take many pictures of that. I was working the cash register most of the night. But the next day, we had our meeting in downtown Columbia. And there had been a United Confederate Veterans meeting in Columbia 1930. And they took their picture on the front steps of the First Presbyterian Church in downtown Columbia. And that's it, of course, on the left. So after our meeting, we wanted to recreate that, and not everybody is present that was at the reunion was present for the photograph. So we're missing a few people, but still a pretty good showing. And we recreated that photo from 1930. And I wanted to be the guy holding on to the light pole pointing towards the courthouse. So you can see me in the back pointing, just as the man in the photo on the left is. So.
Yeah, I didn't realize what that was when I first saw the pictures, and then I saw the other, like the original veterans picture, and I thought that you were the one taking the picture and just photoshopped yourself in. But it looks like they're on the front row in the logo golf shirt and khakis. Looks like a Mississippian somehow got mixed
he
in
snuck
with you
into
boys.
our picture. Yeah, we. One thing I think we had up on the 1930 bunches, we actually have 2 commanders and chiefs in our photographs. Larry McClooney, of course, past commander in chief, and the current commander in chief, Jason Boshiers, is holding the original photograph in the front row of this picture. So glad to have those with us.
And Larry did some talking as well, it looks like.
Yeah, he was our keynote speaker for our Saturday night event, our banquet, and he talked about his new book. And I can't remember the title. I think it's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but it's about the Vicksburg campaign and all the attempts to take it. So
I don't think
it's a great little book. I bought a copy of it this weekend. Look forward to reading it.
It's not Plane, Trains, and Automobiles.
It's not Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but it's Bayous and something.
Yeah. And if you got your copy of The Veteran, in the book review section, there's a review of his last book on General Beauregard. So pick up your Veteran and read all of it, but also read that book review. Especially the constitutional amendments that were in there. as well. Speaking of books, we had this lovely.
Yeah, you never know what's going to arrive from day to day, and 2 boxes of this one book arrived today. Unfortunately, the man who compiled the letters and transcribed them, compiled them all into this one volume, he has passed away, Thomas Terrell. But his daughter, going through his belongings, sent us 2 boxes of this book. So that's a unique first name, Virginius E. Petty, who was a soldier during the war between the states, and these are his letters home. And we'll be putting these in our gift shop. So watch the store for the next couple of days, and you'll be able to buy a copy of that while supplies last, because I imagine these are the last 2 boxes available of these books.
Yeah. Yeah, I swear I was just thinking that. But talk about new stuff coming into the museum. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, this was a neat piece. This came during the Tennessee Division reunion this past weekend, and this is a child's uniform. So I imagine during it's UCV. If you can tell on the buttons, they're stamped UCV, and they have the battle flag on them. It's just like an adult size uniform, but it is a child's uniform. Unless Tom Thumb was there and wearing this is a child's uniform. And I imagine this was probably someone's grandson was acting as a page for one of the reunions, and he probably wore it once and outgrew it, and that's why it's in such pristine condition. I mean, there's not even a moth hole in this. So this has been loaned to our museum, and we'll be putting it in the UCV area of the museum pretty soon.
Cool. And then we have some a veteran artifact too, right?
Yeah, this is really neat. This is from the Richmond shoe manufacturing, and these are used to cut out the soles of the shoes. And the one on the left is actually a heel. It cuts out a heel, and then the other part cuts out the sole. So I imagine you put that on a sheet of leather and just start stamping out soles and heels. So has some documentation with it, and we'll be working that into the collection pretty soon. But it comes from the Richmond shoe manufacturing. It's where they were found.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to. Do we know what size that is? I know it's not a one size fit all, but what size do you think that is?
I haven't measured them yet, but that would be interesting to note. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll measure them before I put them in the case.
Yeah, well, and not just that, somebody may want to actually, and that's the great thing about the museum being and the library being a great resource for anything and everything Confederate, is that I know that a lot of the, oh goodness gracious, the more authentic end of the reenacting hobby, they enjoy that sort of good job there, Adam. They enjoy finding original artifacts like that, or being able to look at and go to a place and look at that, so they can base their reproductions off of them. So that's really cool, and adds a different thing for the museum, I guess.
It is. I mean, it's not just your typical firearm or saber. This is something that it was a utilitarian, something that was used. And that's one thing that I'm working on doing right now, is a section of items from the home front, because that's one thing that kind of gets left out of the story. And we want to portray what was happening on the home front as well while the soldiers were off fighting. Their parents, the folks that were too old to go off and fight, and their wives were running the homes, and they have a story to tell too. So we need those sorts of items.
Yeah, well, we have some modern-ish historical stuff that's come in as well. Newspaper information boards.
Right, and it's not just the newspaper, but there's 3 boxes of books and research that came with them. This is from, and we have David Pope to thank for this, really. He went to a sale in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and there was, it was the sale of a researcher, author, who wrote several books actually, about Jewish soldiers during the Civil War, or War between the states. And this is his research. One box is nothing but his research that he used to write these books. And other boxes, there are some of the books that he wrote from the research, and there are some books from his personal library. And his daughter was selling the home. Unfortunately, the author, whose name is Mel Young, he has since passed, and his daughter was closing out the estate. So we were lucky enough. David got in contact with her, went to the sale. We had boots on the ground. I'm going blank. Dan Dorrell from Chattanooga went over and picked up these items from her. And we have since, he brought them this past weekend. So I haven't opened the boxes yet to see what's in there. But I'm really looking forward to some good research and things that future researchers can use when researching Jewish Confederate soldiers.
And then there's this one, of course, everybody knows Nelson Winbush.
Right, and this came from Lee Miller. Lee Miller has been sending several boxes of books our way, and he sent 4 more boxes, and with it, this framed clipping of Nelson Winbush. And of course, we tried to tell his story about his famous Confederate ancestor, and this will help us do that, along with the books that he donated. And if you have books to donate, we'd love to have them at the National Confederate Museum. We have a great library, the William D. McCain Research Library. And find us on Facebook. The library now has a Facebook page, and you can go on that Facebook page, access the car catalog through that page, and see what we have in our collection. If you donate items to us, and it's something that we already have, we will probably sell it. We have a used bookshelf in the library, and everything that we sell goes to raise money for the museum. But if something that we need, we'll put it in our collection. And we have over 3,000 items cataloged so far, and we probably have another 3,000 to go, and more items are coming in daily. So when I think I see light at the end of the tunnel, more boxes arrive, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I hope things continue to keep coming in. So,
yeah, no kidding. That is definitely good problem to have. And hearing the birds singing in the background there in your beautiful yard of Culleoka, Tennessee. Say Culleoka.
Culleoka. Yep.
Where Harrison?
Yeah, well, let's pronounce it, Harrison.
Okay, he removed himself. But spring has sprung in middle Tennessee, and of course that means that things are bloom and the property is looking good. I think you sent some property pictures in just for some updates, right?
Oh, we sure did. Everything is blooming. We've remulched a lot of the property. As you can see, this is the area around the Jefferson Davis Monument beside the museum. So we have all these crepe myrtles that will be blooming in the summer, but we've remulched all those beds. You can see on the right there, the peonies are blooming. I could be fancy and say the peonies are blooming, but my people say peony. So the peonies are blooming. The white ones right now, and we've got some pink ones. They'll start blooming pretty soon. So it's
thinking about that TikTok I sent you a couple months ago about peonies.
Yeah.
I may not know my flowers. But speaking of flowers.
Oh, and Eric Bravetti, who is our membership coordinator, he is a big iris nut. So he's got all kinds of irises in his yard. And when it's time to thin out his irises at home, he brings them the bulbs up to Elm Springs. So we've planted these irises all around, and a lot of them around the cemetery, and the cemetery is just showing out right now. The irises around the cemetery are. So now you see the purple irises, which are the Tennessee state flower, by the way. So the irises are blooming right now. You see the white ones in the background, and just several different varieties. Forget which ones. Oh, those are some of my favorites, the yellow and maroon ones. And we have them planted all against the house as well. You can see that kind of in the background, and they're blooming. And up the sidewalk, you see more of the purple irises, and the house is really looking nice. and just couldn't resist snapping this picture. I walked down to the end of the driveway. If you walk from the front gate to the back gate, it's a half a mile. So every now and again, I try to get out there and walk that just to get some steps in. But snapping, going back, noticed the flag waving the way it was. It was time for a picture, and I think it turned out nice.
It did. It turned out really good. And I understand that it's prom season, and some local kids came up and took pictures up at the property.
Yeah, sure did. Culleoka kids and Santa Fe and other local community. Santa Fe is spelled Santa Fe, but it's Murray County, so we pronounce it Santa Fe. These are some of those kids. We had over 250 kids and parents here on this Saturday as we opened up the property for them to come and take pictures. And along with the kids came some classic cars, and just snapped some pictures of them while they were here on site. And you can kind of see people and the ladies in their dresses in the background. But it was a lot of fun for us to see those folks come out and take advantage of the property and the home, because it's something that I wanted to do just as an outreach, really, just to let people come, and something they'll remember the rest of their lives. Be like, hey, remember that time we got to go up to Elm Springs to take pictures? And it'll come back to us in the long run. A lot of good community relations. I think it went a long way. And you never know how people will react to the battle flag. We have it waving out at Elm Springs all the time. The kids loved it. They were getting their pictures made with the battleground in the background of their photographs. We saw some of the kids putting their cars where they would have, we had the big battle flag by the museum. They were parking where they could get their cars and the flag all in one shot. So they were loving it. Went and got the picture made by Lee and Jackson, those statues that we have by the museum. So
Lee and Davis.
Lee and Davis, excuse me. Yeah, Lee and Davis.
When was the last time you were at the property, Adam?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it feels like I never leave, but
yeah, like the other night when I called you.
Yep.
And you're up there. But it's not just improvements on the outside of the property. We have some great stuff going inside the house itself, right?
We do. We're doing some work inside, and one of the first things we're still working on the entry hall. A few months ago, I mentioned the project where we're taking out the closets that were installed in the 1950s. So we took out the closet that was in this entry hall, and now we're going back to a period correct color for the trim. So everything in there used to be white trim, which, white paint as we know it today did not exist back then. That didn't come around until about the 1870s, 1880s. So everything would have been off-white in color. But doing some paint analysis in this room, we found that the original trim color was this golden color. I call it kind of a golden oak color. But we've repainted all the trim in this room, or have started that process right now. And that's what this picture shows. We've started repainting the trim.
All right, and then some other work.
Yeah, so this is the bathroom that is next to our conference room, or now the rental room at Elm Springs. And the floor was getting soft in there. One event we had a lady wearing high heel shoes. The heel went through the wood, and I said, well, now we need to replace that. We can't be having that. So we went to replace the wood, and once they've replaced the top layer of wood, they said, well, come here and look at not rafters, but the beams down there, and they were toast. I mean, they were rotten. The floor in there was basically just floating. So we had to have all that framed back out and new floor put back down. So what we're seeing now is the subfloor. We have some beautiful hardwoods that are going back on top of that. And that's yet to be stained and finished, but I'll keep everybody posted about this as we go forward. But I expect it to look really nice.
Well, and then the final picture that you submitted.
Yeah, there's Kayla. Everybody asks how we get a lot of stuff done. Well, I use free labor as much as I can, and Kayla's usually the free labor. And much to Kayla's chagrin, I think. But these risers on the steps, everything's going to have to be repainted that golden oak color. So we're having to take up this rug, and while we're doing that, we're going to take the floors back to as they would have been. They probably would not have had this runner on the treads. So we're going to paint all this that golden oak color. We had to take all the padding off, and now we have to polish all the wood, take it back to a nice luster. But it's going to look really nice when we're finished with it. And like I said, I'll keep everybody up to date on this project as it continues.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing the updates. I'm looking forward to being up there this weekend. Harrison understands that at 11 o'clock on Friday, I will be leaving from Jackson, Mississippi. So that means that he needs to be up here at 11 o'clock on Friday so I can leave from Jackson, Mississippi. You're muted, Moose.
You texted me 1 yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're changing it to 11?
Well, I'm saying 11 because I know you won't be there at 11. So really, in reality, we have to leave by 1. If you got here at 11, that would be cool. But it would be cool. Well, if you got here at 1, that would be cool. But it'd be a lot cooler if you got here at 11.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
I mean, I do want to stop and eat lunch somewhere.
We can.
Not
That's
at 1.
Driving.
not at 1 because at 1 that restaurant I want to eat at is closed.
What restaurant are you wanting to eat?
I'll tell you in the break.
All right.
Speaking of, so if y'all are seeing all this great stuff that we're doing at the National Head, or I say we, that Adam, Kayla, and the staff are doing up at mainly Kayla are doing up at headquarters. There are different ways that you can help and support the organization in these efforts. One, of course, is the Friends of Elm Springs. The other is the Friends of the Museum. Both of those applications can be found on the SCV website, scv.org, or email Adam on his email. But it's open for anybody to join. You do not have to be a member of the SCV to join. Yeah, hopefully the floor will be done by this weekend so y'all can hire in the movers to move that furniture. But again, with the
I know
he's pointing fingers at Connor and Harrison here. He's like, here's 2 movers coming right here.
Well,
Kayla has used me to move furniture.
And she's not done with you yet.
What'd you say?
She's not done with you yet.
I'm not shocked.
as long as we're not having to move the John Bell hood bed, all the more reason for us to leave at 1 or 11.
Stop it. I have to do the full day of farm work before I leave, right?
All the more reason for us to leave at 11.
I would be getting up at 5, Connor.
Early to bed, early to rise, and some other stuff Ben Franklin said. But anyway, you can support by joining the Friends of the Museum. All memberships are tax deductible. You get an e-newsletter. There are various levels of membership from the $25 to the $1,000 and various. They have various benefits attached to them. All proceeds go to the museum. You don't have to be a member of the SCV to join. As well as the Friends of Elm Springs, where that money goes to the maintenance, upkeep, and restoration of Elm Springs. Adam's email is down there, but visit scv.org for more information. Also, if you are not a member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, but if you are supporting what we are doing here, you don't have the ancestry, you don't have the not so much the genealogical portion, but the physical attributes, you can join the Friends of the SCV today. Go to scv.org for more information. Up at the top, there is a Become a Friends tab. Click on that, get the application, locate your local camp, and get signed up with it. Again, it's open to male and females. The membership fee is really. Thank you. The membership fee is $45 with a subsequent donation of $35 or more a year will maintain your Confederate Veteran magazine subscription. Now we can go through and look at the different comments. Entry hall is really changing with the golden ochre paint and carpet removed. The floor in the bathroom is down but needs finishing. A special thank you to Adam and Kayla for all their hard work after hours and their love and devotion. I'm adding that in there. Okay.
I think
okay.
Elm Springs.
That's completely out of context. I think he's talking about the memorial service at Stone Mountain this past weekend.
And then
yes.
Yeah, and available. I
yes.
will bring my work clothes, Miss Kayla, and I will help you move furniture. As long as you promise not to make me pull my back again.
He acts like there was a choice in this. I mean, Kayla said he had no choice anyway. So.
Yeah, what Kayla says goes. If you haven't learned that yet,
try to take her TR and see what happens.
Yeah, no doubt there. Steve Murphy asks, does Elm Springs have a termite control contract? If not, I'm glad to install some type of in-ground stations like the ones he has around the Sam Davis home and or Spoyhead home.
Yeah, we have some, and no telling how long this has been a problem, but with that room. But before, this was just a bathroom that someone would go into occasionally. Now we're using this room for rentals, and it's a high traffic area, so we're just experiencing a little bit of growing pains there, and it just was not used to that amount of traffic. And she loves Jason Boshears, and I don't know why he keeps saying she hates him, but
because he tried to take that tiara.
Well,
we have video evidence. We have video evidence of something about that.
Go check out the second Chat Head dinner. You can find it easily on YouTube, and you can see Kayla threaten the commander-in-chief of this organization.
Didn't use a word.
That's true.
Last Thursday we talked about the Southern women in talking about the charge, and Miss Kayla definitely is your. I hate to say stereotypical, but your classic Southern woman, and all Southern women have that look, and when that look is given, you straighten up.
I've been on the receiving end of that too many times.
Yeah, I think I got the look at Catfish Campus this last GEC meeting, but I really didn't care because I was waiting on my. I did not get my pickled green tomatoes. So
no, I said something, and that look has striked fear in me ever since.
Yeah, that was at Hot Springs last year.
I think she could have shot me.
Yeah,
she's looking
really
forward
quick.
to some reason of shooting me.
Really quickly, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Adam, if you want to stick around, you can. If you don't, if you have to go and do things, Moose and I are going to talk about this past weekend down at Beauvoir with the Mississippi Division Confederate Memorial Service. So we'll be right back after this quick commercial.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Yes, and this weekend, come and discover your history at the 4th annual pilgrimage to Elm Springs Confederate Memorial Service. Will be a good weekend.
It'll be a great weekend. You can come see Connor. He's signing autographs all day.
Not all day. Not all day because we will be at the AOT workshop for a part of it because we have to give a 15 to 30 minutes talk on the impacts of social media and how social media can be used to help promote the cause. And McClooney, you and Todd behave or we'll put you both in timeout.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of social media, just for a second, I'm on TikTok, so follow me at Mayor Culleoka. I do a lot of Confederate videos there, and we've had over 350,000 views on my Confederate videos. So we're on TikTok as long as the federal government will allow us to be.
To keep my views and opinions to myself. It was all good until you said federal government.
Right.
Because what business is it of theirs or any other government how I get my entertainment? As long as I'm not hurting anybody or anything. Anyway, sorry. Not getting off the rails there. Yes, Moose.
1 minute. I was trying to make a great segue and I failed tremendously. You can also go support us on TikTok where we repost a lot of Adam's stuff because we're uncreative.
Yeah, Adam, we enjoy stealing your stuff.
Like this recent video we posted today from Adam.
Immortal 600. Well, Joseph Irvin in Rose Hill Cemetery was one of those 600 men. The Immortal 600 was the name given to 600 Confederate officers that were used as a human shield by the Yankee Army. For over 40 days, cannons were shot back and forth over their heads. If a Confederate shot was fired short, it would land among the 600 men. If a Yankee shot misfired, it would explode amongst them. Despite this, not one of the 600 men died. That is, until the Yankee government began starving them, feeding them spoiled and sour foods laden with bugs. When the Yankees were done using these men as a human shield, they moved them to Fort Pulaski and Hilton Head, South Carolina, where conditions got much worse. Dozens died from the conditions, yet the Immortal 600 refused to take a loyalty oath in return for their freedom. As a result, these men became heroes across the South. And today in Rose Hill Cemetery in Columbia, Tennessee, one of those Immortal 600 lies underneath a dogwood tree. Thanks for watching. Like and follow for more history.
And here's Adam's page if you want to go follow it.
Yeah, there's a video somewhere down there of Kayla with a gun.
Oh, yeah.
That ought to be enough to scare anyone.
Yeah. Oh, hey, play that one to the right of Simeon Cummins. Not the dog, but the other side. Down. Down. All right, you see the one with Adam in the kepi. Go. All right. You see Nathan Bedford Forrest's picture. No, not that one. No, the one of Nathan Bedford's forest picture. Then go up one.
Okay, so in part
No.
one, we talked.
Now go up one.
The CIC spotting.
Just can't halfway do
I
things.
discovered you can turn the sap from a black walnut tree.
Yeah, that and other social media things are what we'll be talking about. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good day. I'm looking forward to it. I always look forward to the AOT workshop, especially because it's a chance to learn different things about the Confederation, and it'll be a very, very good day. Speaking of good days, this past weekend, Moose and I, we did not get to film because he was busy doing board things, and I was busy in my capacity as chairman of the Friends of Beauvoir. They're not interim chairman; it's not an official thing yet because I haven't written those bylaws. But the fundraising wing for Beauvoir, the last home of Confederate President Jefferson Davis, the Mississippi Division celebrated their Confederate Memorial Day. It was very well attended, not only for the luncheon, but we do a dinner on the grounds, but as well as for the service. My camp, Rankin Gray's Camp 2278, really a big shout out to them. That's part of the line of the food, people getting fed. But my camp provided the food for this year. Of course, our Southern ladies brought various different desserts. And one of our young compatriots, his grandmother, Jack DuPont's grandmother, provided a lovely lemon blueberry cheesecake pound cake thing. Our keynote speaker was past Commander-in-Chief. There he is. You can see him. I had the opportunity to MC the event. Reenactors, of course. Just a really, really good day in the South. There's Mr. Paul and Miss Linda. But Beauvoir, for a lot of people who don't know, was, of course, the last home of President Jefferson Davis, but it was also a VA, or not a VA, but a soldier's home, much like the VA homes now. And standing out there and seeing all those flags fly in the breeze over the veterans and their wives' graves, it's always a very touching and moving experience. That's Forrest Dawes. That is before he led us in the singing of Dixie. And I can say he does sound like Conway Twitty.
I'm telling you, he's the Conway of the Confederacy.
I agree.
That was definitely a very good.
Know who he asked first to sing?
I asked Paul Gramling first if he would sing, and past Commander-in-Chief Paul Gramling said no.
And then
he can drum though. He's a drummer. I don't know about singing.
I don't know. I haven't heard him sing, but it kind of looks at me in front of everyone sing, and I'm like, no, I am not reliving that nightmare.
I will say those Confederate cupcakes look pretty good though.
They were, especially for store-bought. Yeah.
Still little battle flags in them look great.
It was a very festive day. It was a very good day. Since COVID, our numbers have kind of been down. I wish we had the same numbers that Stone Mountain had, and we'll be sharing pictures from the Stone Mountain service on our Facebook page. So make sure you're following us on Facebook, especially for y'all who are listening on YouTube or listening to the podcast after this is aired. And we'll be sharing those pictures on there as we're seeing camps put them in or as people are submitting them. My thing.
Really good weekend.
It was. The weather was absolutely lovely. Despite being set out there in that sun for an hour, my blood sugar crashing to about a 44 the night before. It was a very, very good day. So
Good.
Yeah. I thought it was a good idea because you had that deep, resonating, booming voice. It'd have been great, but yeah, maybe.
I think it's just one of those scenarios where the Lord has already blessed him with the best style in the SCV. I mean, he is the most sharp dressed man in the SCV. I mean, he can't give you everything, sadly.
He can't do it all.
Yeah.
And when you do it, you just can't halfway do things.
You can't
Yeah,
halfway
he
do
can't just halfway do this.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
Oh, we'll put it on a t-shirt. Don't you worry. As soon as he gets out of office, so he can't strip.
He walked into the museum today, and right as he walked through the doors, it went, "You just can't halfway do this." And he was like, "Oh God, y'all need to cut that off."
As soon as he gets out of office, I want someone to send me a picture of Jason doing like this. And it says underneath it, I'm going to put, "You can't halfway do this." It will be available at the Bonfire SCV chat store the day he goes out of office.
Well, that and the one from Thomas Franklin and his Jason being hungry for our heritage.
Not touching that one. He's still Commander-in-Chief right now. I ain't touching that one.
Hey, we can launch it. We can launch it in July. So, oh goodness gracious! Well, Thursday, Moose, what you got going on?
We have Commander's Comments this Thursday. Join us as Chief of Heritage Operations, Mr. Ron Kennedy, hosts, and our Commander-in-Chief, Jason Boshears, comes on to give you an update on what the National SCV is doing.
That's sure to be a lively show.
It's always a lively show with Jason on. You know, it'll T-Rex arms. And there's my one.
You're on that DNR list to stay.
I'm done. This is it. Jason is saying he will sing at National Reunion. That's in there now.
No. He said he will sign them at National Reunion.
Nah, I think he says sing. Let's all hear Jason. Great.
No, it's sign. It's sign. So you have Commander's Comments on Thursday, 7:00. Y'all going to cover any news?
We might try to. We might try to do a special episode considering the end of April. We're getting a lot of news in, but we'll have to see. We might save that for next. No, well, yeah, we'll save it for next Thursday.
What you doing Wednesday?
Wednesday?
Yeah.
I'll be after church. I'm free.
Yeah, after church we may do a special late live Confederate Heritage Month recap with all the stories that we've had sent in along with all the episodes. We'll let y'all know. So stay tuned on our Patreon because we'll announce it on Patreon whether we do it first there or not. And then on the Facebook page.
Yep. And make sure
last day, isn't it? Last day of Confederate History Month. So make it a good day.
This is the last SCV chat episode of April. I think we've had a great April here on the chat as well as honoring our ancestors. Make sure you tune in to Look Around Florida for the Florida man, Sean McFall, as he closes us out of the month of April officially. He will be the last episode.
And I do believe that I will be on there with Sean tomorrow night.
Wow, look at that. The power team. Start calling y'all the power team or the mega powers. We'll figure it out.
So remember, go ahead and shoot your stuff in. Remember to be paying attention to the Facebook page for any announcements, whether we do a live stream, special live stream on Wednesday or not, TBD. Moose and I will try to do a special podcast episode. No guarantees. We did one last week.
Yeah, we filmed an extra. We filmed a podcast last week.
Yeah, we may do that tomorrow. We may not.
Also, make sure you go check out our podcast on Spreaker and many other platforms. Again, we've finally come up to all of our episodes, and I even for the Charge Day, uploaded one look around episode, the Charge episode. So make sure you check that out.
Yeah. So we thought that it would be fitting with this being Confederate, the last episode of the month for Confederate History Month, that we would end the month with the way we started the month. That's with our 2024 Confederate Heritage Month video before we do our end credits. So if any of y'all don't have anything else, I'll go ahead and start that, and then we'll do the end credits afterwards. Remember to check out all of our social media and everything else that we've mentioned. Join the Friends, join the Friends Museum, Friends of the Elm Springs. If you're not a member of the SCV and can't, join the Friends of the SCV. Join our Patreon, buy a t-shirt on Bonfire. Remember, it's only for the chat shirt. And the code to get 10% off is all caps CHAT. Get 10% off on that. But until next time, in the words of the late and great Harold Philpotts, no Fumar in the elevator.
No Fumar in the elevator.